Book 12, The Transparent Illusion. Mina stood outside the airport doors, rocking nervously on her heels as the automatic doors slid open again and again. Every single time they opened, her heart jumped a little because she kept expecting to finally see Hanna walking through them. "She'll be here," Sarah said gently, noticing how tense Mina looked. "I know," Mina replied quickly. "I just want everything to go well." This was not just a simple visit from a family friend. Hanna was coming to America for the very first time, and everyone understood that this moment carried enormous emotional weight. There was excitement, anticipation, and curiosity, but there was also a giant elephant in the room. It took Mina's mother, Hanna, a few months to tie up all her affairs in Korea. And in that time, Sarah found out that she was pregnant. Mina was excited to be a new sister, and it was only a few short months ago. Nobody really knew how living together would work, especially with a new baby arriving soon, David losing his office space, and Hanna trying to adjust to an entirely different culture and language. Everything felt uncertain, and even though nobody wanted to admit it openly, the family was nervous about how much their lives were about to change. When Hanna finally stepped through the airport doors, pulling her oversized suitcase behind her, Mina immediately noticed how overwhelmed she looked. Hanna's eyes moved carefully across the crowds, signs, lights, and sounds as if she were trying to absorb an entirely new world all at once. "Mina, family?" Hanna said happily as she hurried toward them. Mina immediately smiled. "We're really glad you're here." Hanna quickly pulled out her phone translator. "My English!" She paused awkwardly before the translator loudly announced, "My English is baby English." Maya nearly exploded laughing. "Honestly," Maya whispered to Mina, "Dad and Mom are the same before coffee." Even Hanna started laughing once Mina explained the joke to her. The awkward tension immediately softened, and for the first time that day, everyone finally relaxed a little. At home, the cultural differences appeared almost immediately. The moment Hanna stepped inside the house, she automatically removed her shoes and lined them neatly beside the front door. David blinked in surprise. "We usually keep shoes on inside," he explained carefully. Hanna looked genuinely horrified. "You wear outside dirt inside house?" Mina quickly stepped in before the moment became too uncomfortable. "It's normal here," Mina explained gently. "Most Americans are just used to it." Hanna quietly put on slippers instead, but Mina noticed something symbolic about the scene. Hanna's shoes sat slightly apart from everyone else's shoes. They were not fully separated, but they also did not fully belong with the others yet. That image stayed in Mina's mind because it perfectly represented Hanna herself. At first, many of the cultural differences seemed funny rather than stressful. Breakfast became a disaster almost immediately. Hanna carefully tasted cereal with milk, chewed slowly, and then frowned deeply. "It feels like eating tiny rocks." Mina burst out laughing. That is honestly a pretty accurate description. Hanna clearly missed Korean breakfasts with rice, soup, eggs, and warm meals. Crunchy cereal floating in cold milk made absolutely no sense to her. The translator also created endless accidental comedy. One afternoon, Hanna typed, "This food is delicious." But instead, the translator loudly announced, "This dish brings me great honor." David nearly choked on his coffee while Maya laughed so hard she almost fell off the couch. "That escalated quickly," Maya joked. Even Hanna laughed once Mina explained why the translation sounded overly dramatic. Little by little, the house filled with awkward but funny misunderstandings. Some moments made people laugh, while others quietly hurt feelings without anyone meaning to. As the days passed, Hanna slowly began feeling like a fish out of water. That idiom meant feeling uncomfortable in a completely unfamiliar environment where nothing feels natural. While everyone else went to school, worked, or stayed busy, Hanna stayed home practicing English for hours every day. I am improving. I can do this. I am confident. The translator repeated every sentence again and again in a robotic voice that echoed through the house constantly. Eventually, David rubbed his temples tiredly. "Hanna," he said carefully, "could you lower the volume just a little?" Hanna immediately nodded. But something shifted emotionally after that conversation. She began spending more time alone inside the office bedroom. She smiled less, spoke less, and slowly started withdrawing from everyone around her. Mina could feel the tension building quietly beneath the surface, like a powder keg waiting for a spark. Then came the painful misunderstandings. One day, David discovered Hanna placing used toilet paper into the trash instead of flushing it. "In Korea, we do not flush," Hanna explained through the translator. David tried to remain polite, but Hanna still looked deeply embarrassed. She smiled, and David thought she thought it was funny, but it really meant she was uncomfortable. Another evening during dinner, Hanna looked at David thoughtfully and said, "You have thick stomach. You should exercise more." The room instantly went silent. Maya nearly spit out her drink, trying not to laugh. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a sword. Hanna honestly believed she was being helpful because in Korea, direct honesty is often seen as caring advice rather than an insult. That night, Hanna sat quietly on the edge of the bed, holding back tears. "I do everything wrong," she whispered. Mina sat beside her gently. "No," Mina replied softly. "You're just learning different cultural rules." Hanna looked lost and emotionally exhausted. "In Korea, I know rules of respect," she admitted quietly. "Here, I do not know." Mina squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Then we'll learn them together." Unfortunately, the tension inside the house kept growing. David was stressed because he gave up his office space for Hanna to live. Sarah became emotionally drained. Hanna isolated herself more and more. Meanwhile, Mina felt trapped in the middle, trying to hold everyone together like a bridge made of glass that could crack under pressure at any moment. One evening, Mina accidentally discovered apartment listings open on David's laptop. "For Hanna?" Mina asked quietly. David sighed heavily. "I thought maybe everyone needed more space." Mina's stomach dropped immediately. She already thinks she's the problem. "I know," David admitted tiredly. "That's what makes this so difficult." Sometimes life does not offer perfect choices. Sometimes people must choose between several painful options and simply hope they are making the least harmful decision. Then everything suddenly changed. That same night, Hanna quietly packed her suitcase. "I think I should leave," she whispered sadly. Mina immediately panicked. "Your family," Mina insisted firmly. But before anyone could continue the conversation, Sarah suddenly cried out in pain from the bedroom. The baby was coming, a full month early. Everyone froze in panic except Hanna. The nervous woman who had spent weeks apologizing suddenly became calm, focused, and incredibly steady. "Help her stand slowly," Hanna instructed firmly. "We go hospital now." David stood frozen with shock. "Dad," Mina shouted, "car now." That snapped him back to reality. Only minutes later, they raced toward the hospital through the darkness. At the hospital, everything became a blur of doctors, nurses, bright lights, medical machines, instructions, and fear. However, Hanna never left Sarah's side for even a moment. She held Sarah's hand through contractions, helped her breathe steadily, adjusted pillows, and calmly guided her through every painful moment. When the baby finally arrived safely, relief flooded the room instantly. Although the baby needed extra care in the NICU because he was premature, the doctors believed he would recover well. Everyone cried. Even David cried openly. During the following week, everything inside the family slowly changed. While the baby stayed in the NICU, Hanna remained at the hospital, almost constantly helping Sarah recover. Mina noticed something important. For the first time since arriving in America, Hanna no longer looked nervous or unsure of herself. She looked strong and confident. At home, Maya finally said what everyone else had secretly been thinking. So basically, Maya joked, Hanna went from awkward dinner guest to running the entire hospital. David sighed. That sounds pretty accurate. Then Maya added something else. And you almost sent her away. David lowered his eyes quietly. Yeah, he admitted. That would have been a terrible mistake. Sometimes hindsight is 20/20. That idiom meant understanding something clearly only after making mistakes or experiencing consequences. When the baby finally came home, the rhythm of the house changed completely. Hanna naturally stepped into a special Korean role called sanhujori. This Korean tradition focuses on caring for both the mother and baby after childbirth while allowing the mother time to fully recover. Hanna cooked meals, cleaned the house, helped with the baby constantly, and supported Sarah emotionally whenever she needed rest. Hanna did not see it as an obligation, but as a privilege and a chance to pay it forward as Sarah had raised Mina in America. She also gave her the help that she wished she would have had when she first gave birth to Mina. Hanna felt fulfilled. For the first time since arriving in America, Hanna no longer felt like a guest. She felt like an anchor holding the family steady during a rainy storm. Meanwhile, Mina slowly returned to her own passions again. She restarted her magic videos, her music, and her work with Kleingeluk. The organization helped struggling families stay together by providing financial support to parents in crisis situations. One case deeply affected Mina. A mother whose husband died in an industrial accident was fighting to regain custody of her child, while the company responsible tried hiding evidence using fake paperwork and legal tricks. Smoke and mirrors, just like magicians use, Mina explained during one of her online videos. Using her magic skills, Mina explained how illusion and misdirection can manipulate people into believing false stories. She made some cards appear and reappear, and then turned them into confetti while speaking to the camera. Magic is honest about being fake, Mina explained calmly into the camera. But corruption pretends to be truth. The video spread quickly online because people connected deeply with her message. For the first time, Mina realized her platform could do more than entertain people. It could genuinely help people too. As the weeks passed, the family slowly healed together. Liam secretly organized a giant surprise party for the baby, and the house quickly filled with balloons, cake, decorations, gifts, music, jokes, and laughter. Even Raven arrived early to help decorate enthusiastically. "This is organized chaos," Sophia laughed. Hanna tilted her head curiously. "Organized chaos? That's an oxymoron," Maya explained proudly. An oxymoron combines two opposite ideas together. "Like fast asleep," Mina added. "Someone cannot technically move quickly and sleep at the same time, but together the phrase creates a special meaning." Hanna smiled proudly. "I understand now." Oxymoron. That is funny. The English language finally started making more sense to her little by little. Later, Lily taught Hanna a few puns. The past is history. The future is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Hannah's eyes widened. "Oh, same word, different meaning. Present and present." "Exactly," Mina said excitedly. "That's called a pun." Then Mina gave another example. "Why was 6 afraid of 7? Hanna looked confused. "Because 7, 8, 9. Hanna blinked several times before suddenly bursting into laughter. Because 8 sounds like 8. "Exactly," Mina laughed. For the first time since arriving in America, Hanna no longer looked confused by every strange phrase. Instead, she looked excited to keep learning more. Later that night, Mina quietly sat beside Liam while the party continued around them. "You planned all this," she whispered. "I wanted you to feel supported," Liam replied softly. For the first time in months, Mina finally allowed herself to relax emotionally. The fear, the stress, the pressure. None of it disappeared completely, but it softened enough for her to finally breathe again. Eventually, David gathered everyone together for one final surprise. Instead of sending Hanna away, they had bought her a small, foldable echo house for the backyard. The tiny home included solar panels, recycled water systems, a loft bed, a kitchenette, and her own front door. Hanna stared at the screen emotionally as the tiny house unfolded mechanically like origami. "My own home," she whispered. But the biggest surprise had not arrived yet. David smiled proudly at Mina. "We trust you now." Sarah nodded. "So, after freshman year," David grinned, "you and Hanna are finally going back to Korea for 2 whole months." Mina nearly stopped breathing. 2 months? Maya immediately grinned. "And apparently, I'm the official chaperone." Everyone laughed loudly. But Mina felt emotional because suddenly everything connected the failed Korea trip. Las Vegas, meeting Murray, her music and magic channel, the concert, Kleingeluk, Hanna coming to America, and even helping with the baby. Everything connected like fallen dominoes, leading to this exact moment. Life finally made sense. Not perfectly, but enough. That night, Mina sat quietly staring at the bracelet Chloe gave her. The girl who once felt divided between two worlds no longer felt lost anymore. Her magic was no longer just about tricks. Her music was no longer just about performance. And her story was no longer just about adoption. Now her life stood for something much bigger. Truth, compassion, justice, healing, and helping people feel less alone. Mina smiled softly to herself. For the very first time in her life, she truly felt ready for whatever came next.